Chapter 3 From A Fish in Water Athirst. Pole diving for the European perch. I recently had the privilege of visiting Switzerland with some family and friends. We spent 3 weeks hiking, camping, fishing, and traveling in many lovely hamlets high in the mountains. It was easy for us to find good camping and hiking spots because my brother-in-law, Christian, acted as our guide. Christian and my sister Mara welcomed us with great kindness. I feel a debt of gratitude to them for their generous hospitality. Christian had grown up in a lovely Swiss mountain town near our first campground. He smilingly led our intrepid little party to a number of hidden lakes and streams, special spots only the locals frequent. It is true that there are a number of fish in the pristine Swiss mountain lakes that look almost identical to varieties we have here in the Midwest. But ichthyologists tell us that they are in fact different species. One such fish, which was spotted frequently in the shallows and occasionally on local menus, the European perch, Perca fluviatilis, looked very much like the North American yellow perch. Though it is in the same genus, the yellow perch is a different species, and Perca flavescens tends to be slightly smaller than its European cousin. How did these perch evolve to look so similar on their respective continents? Who is their common ancestor, and just how big did their grandmothers get? I was able to contemplate these questions as I swam among schools of European perch while diving in Lake Walensee in Switzerland, where some of the specimens we finned along with appeared to be as big as mature walleyes. Yes, fluviatilis is a hefty perch. Diving near Murg, Switzerland, across from the tiny, protected and idyllic mountain town of Kenton, which is only accessible by boat, paddleboard, or long swims, we saw a few fish that must have been over a kilogram. We managed to get pretty close to some of those handsome fish whose dark backs and shining eyes also reminded me of the European zander. Our campsite on Lake Walensee was adjacent to a dense colony of bamboo. Picking a dry pole from the thick stand, I trimmed it and attached a short line, tying a small fly to the end. I decided to try a technique I had practiced while living in Oahu, pole diving. Pole diving is a unique sport, and I suppose some would relate it to spearfishing, though there are some obvious differences. First of all, the fisherman can choose to release a fish after catching it, a bonus for the fish. Second, a certain amount of matching the hatch, a certain amount of fishing know-how is required to lure in the right species with the right presentation or fly. It is true that perch are generally considered not to be so picky, but the ones that swam near our campground had seen a lot of presentations. Swimming in that clear, cold water, they proved elusive. Happily exploring the shallows with my little tenkara fly rod, I was able to lure a few fish in, hook them and land them while diving, and observing them minutely through the lens of my mask. I remember that the last perch I caught at the campground was very small, only about 10 centimeters in length. It took the fly as I exited the water. A vacationing Frenchman, fishing with a French Meps Aglia spinner, saw the tiny perch and responded, "Alors, ça marche aussi, voilà." So that works too, there you go. He was being a gentleman. The fish was tiny. I replied, "Oui, monsieur, c'est bien simple comme ça." Yes, sir, it works pretty well like that. No doubt, there are plenty of places to try this technique in the Midwest too. Lake Michigan has very clear water along much of its length. Lake Geneva is beloved by divers, and there are even a few clear ponds near my home here in Rockford, which might lend themselves serviceably to this exciting sport. During the coming season, I hope to practice again this unique pastime which I coined pole diving after first practicing it in Waikiki Beach. The next chapter is pole diving in Waikiki, and we'll save that one for later, probably tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Please don't hesitate to subscribe, like, and share. This is one of the books that I've been exploring with you for some time. We started in the kayak, and now I'm doing these longer videos so you can have the whole chapter at once. Please watch the whole chapter and continue to enjoy the book. Thank you kindly.